What's up, DermBiz listeners? I hope your collections are up and your overhead is down because we've got some serious numbers to unpack today. According to the newly released 2025 MGMA and AMGA compensation reports, dermatology is still a top-tier earner. But the real news is how fast the business side is shifting for independent private practice owners in our field. The specialty of dermatology pulls a median total compensation of $530,700 annually, ranking it as the 9th highest paid medical specialty in the country, according to the Medical Group Management Association's latest data set, Panacea Financial July 2025. The compensation reality. Just to level set your salary expectations, according to the MGMA's 2024 survey, summarized by Panacea Financial, the median compensation for dermatologists across the U.S. was $530,700. If you're practicing in the Western region, MGMA data says you're making $579,025. That's about $127,000 more than dermatologists in the East, who are earning $451,510 annually per year. And here's the stat to get every owner's attention. MGMA data shows dermatology falls in the upper right cluster for productivity and pay, with work RVU conversion factors in the $47 to $60 range, thanks in part to high procedural volumes and lucrative facility fees in our specialty. Now keep in mind, those facility fees are specifically pointing to people who work in a hospital, and so these wouldn't be people who have their own private practice, most likely. The private equity invasion. According to data published in JAMA Dermatology and Practical Dermatology, private equity was virtually absent from dermatology in 2011. But by 2018, 184 practices have been acquired by 17 different PE firms, a jump representing over an 11-fold increase in market activity from just 5 years prior. And according to advisory firm Provident Healthcare Partners, as of 2020, 15% of all U.S. dermatology practices were already owned by private equity, a number that's still climbing as platforms consolidate and merge. But what should really grab your attention as an independent owner is that for the first time ever, hospital and health system-owned practices outperform private practice groups on productivity metrics, specifically median work RVUs, according to MGMA's 2025 provider report. That said, MGMA still reports private practices have a 16.12% higher collections with 12.17% more patient encounters. The catch is they're now 6.23% lower in overall productivity. For the reason why private practice has a lower overall productivity as compared to hospital and health system owned practices is because they oftentimes do more complex procedures on average. And then also too, they have those facility fees that factored in. And then they also sometimes can even bill at higher rates because they're a larger organization. The brutal truth about practice economics. And about that raise, while dermatology's annual compensation increases hover near 3.5% per year, inflation measured by the Consumer Price Index has increased 21.2% over the past 5 years, a gap highlighted in MGMA's and Medscape's recent salary analysis. Medicare reimbursement, meanwhile, has dropped 33% since 2001 when adjusted for inflation, even after Congress patched in a temporary 2% bump for 2025. Practice costs are rising sharply. Clearwave's 2024 trend research reports operating costs for dermatology clinics are up as much as 39% year over year for most practices, with salary, rent, and tech all outpacing reimbursed income. It's no accident MGM finds 40% of dermatology practices remain solo owner operated and 73% have fewer than 5 physicians. Smaller practices feel these cost pressures acutely, but can't always scale for economy. Support for the DermBiz show comes from Derm. If you're a dermatologist or part of a dermatology practice, you know how critical it is to have tools that make your workflow seamless. Derm is revolutionizing dermatology with its intuitive EHR solutions, designed specifically to simplify your practice operations and give you more time to focus on patient care. Their system isn't just easy to use, it's built with dermatologists in mind, making it the perfect choice for practices looking to streamline and grow. Want to learn more? Head over to EasyDerm.com to see how they can help you elevate your practice to the next level. And here's a little insider tip. Tell them the DermBiz show sent you. Also, before we jump back in, here's a quick reminder to make sure you're connected with us on all of our other social media platforms. We share other content on those platforms that's going to help you grow and build your private practice. We believe that we need more doctors in leadership positions in private practice ownership, and we believe that our content is going to help you get to where you need to go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on all those platforms. All right, thanks for listening, and another big shout out to Derm. Now let's get back to the show. The burnout crisis nobody talks about. It's not just money at stake. According to Practical Dermatology's September 2025 feature on physician wellness, dermatologist happiness plummeted from 85% pre-pandemic to just 62% in 2024, moving the dermatology specialists down from 8th to 11th in physician satisfaction ratings. Plastic surgeons now rank the highest among all specialties. Gender disparities are stark here too. 51% of women dermatologists report burnout symptoms compared to just 35% of men. Given that women now account for over 85% of U.S. dermatologists, this is a major concern for practice culture and future recruitment. But as highlighted in Tebra's 2024 physician burnout research, independent owner-operators fare better. 54% report moderate burnout, 19% hardly any, and 10% none at all. While 42% of employed dermatologists report actively considering a move to private practice for better work-life balance. The strategic playbook. So what should forward-thinking owners do? First, location matters. MGMA shows that switching to a different location could mean up to $127,000 pay jump. Not just a lifestyle upgrade, but a major bottom line win. It matters where you establish your private practice. Second, the scale imperative. MGMA and Dermatology Times note that independent practices are losing ground on productivity and negotiating power. Growth, collaboration, or serious workflow optimization is no longer optional if you want to succeed in these times as a private practice owner. And third, diversify. As AMGA and Clearwave's reports both warn, practices focused exclusively on Medicare-dependent medical dermatology are hurting in this environment. The most stable groups now mix core medical derm with cosmetic, aesthetic, and cash pay services to buffer against reimbursement cuts and inflation. The crystal ball. Looking forward, nearly every industry outlet from PE stakeholder to practical dermatology agrees. Expect continued market consolidation, accelerating private equity involvement, and further cost squeezes for small independent private practices. Here's the bright spot. According to FTI Consulting's 2025 Business Outlook, demand for dermatology is set to grow 5.8% annually, with U.S. market volume projected to top $16 billion. Practices that adapt their business model to scale, diversity, and provide excellent patient experience are poised to do extremely well despite all of the noise. So the question is your practice ready for what the numbers and trends demand? The work that you do matters. Keep fighting the good fight, and we'll see you on the next episode of DermBiz. And that's a wrap for this episode of the DermBiz Show. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and packed with value to help you navigate the challenges of running your private practice. We'd love to hear from you. Is there a specific topic you'd like us to cover or a question you want answered? Reach out to us at thedermbiz@gmail.com or drop us a message on social media. Your input helps us tailor the show to what matters most to you and your practice. Speaking of social media, don't forget to follow us on all of our platforms for updates, bonus content, and tips to keep your practice running smoothly. And of course, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thanks for tuning in today, and we can't wait to have you join us again the next time. Until then, take care, keep thriving, and we'll see you the next time on the DermBiz Show.